Welcome one and all to
Souls Talking Brain.
La 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 la.
La la. Hello. Hello.
Please do
Hello.
continue.
La 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 la. Welcome to Souls Talking Brain show here live on Ustream.
This is our shamaness Intuit,
Aline Ornesian.
And I am Roni Lipstein. Thank you all so very much for joining us here today. We have a very, I would think one can say, potentially volatile subject matter. Definitely a very sensitive subject matter that we will be discussing today. Mm-hmm. And what is that subject matter that we'll be discussing?
It's quite
shamaness.
Yes, it is quite sensitive. It is, are criminals, meaning murderers, rapists, terrorists, monsters, or lights of love? That's a heavy one. I don't know how somebody who's just right now reading this or hearing me say this is feeling inside and what's going on inside of you when you read this. You know, there's a lot of things that go on inside of me. It's quite a title there. And that's what we are going to be speaking about. Obviously, it could mean so many different things to so many different people. Of course, we've got so many different perceptions in this world. And we will give you ours and what it is that we are going to be talking about today. On monsters. Mm-hmm.
Well, on the perception of someone potentially being a monster, which is truly the question that we're asking.
Yes.
There are 6.5 billion people in this world, and each one of them is unique and wonderful unto themselves. Each one comes with their own gifts to share with all of we. Mm-hmm. And some of those gifts are much nicer to open than others. And so the question becomes, in knowing the quintessential foundational essence of whom we are.
Mm-hmm. The quintessential essence?
Yes.
The quintessential essence of who we are.
Which
is the very core of your beingness.
Which
is the
I'm so
soul
putting her on
of
the
your
spot,
beingness.
by the way. Which
is your spirit.
Which is
what am I missing
everything.
One?
Yeah, you're
which
missing
is energy.
Yes, thank you.
We've got a consistent theme going on here on Souls Talking Brain. Every single time you watch the show, we will always, and of all people, me being one of the hosts here, keeps not getting it.
No,
it's
got
energy.
it.
Yes.
But you went through all of the
Yes,
different...
I do. Yes.
We have all different names and things that we use and what have you. But at our core, everyone is exactly the same.
Yes, the very core.
And the same that we are, which is that which is energy, is the same that is everything. And so we're asking a question of our fundamental beingness.
Which is, if we are all the same, then why is there good and then there's bad?
And if somebody is doing bad, mm-hmm. Are they no longer the same? Have they now stepped into a different molecular structure of beingness? Are they now made up of a different quintessential structure? Is their essence now changed?
No. Well, okay.
And so
La 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 la.
so the conversation does begin, and the pondering does.
Well, it is
stimulate.
It is. It's quite stimulating for me.
Oh.
Of course, it's quite stimulating, and I'm hoping that it is for you all. And if anybody has anything to say, please do let us in on what your thoughts are, what you're feeling, what you're thinking right now, as we are opening a forum here every second Wednesday. And going back to does it change? Does the person change? Or does the core essence of the person change?
Mm-hmm.
If a person is being negative or positive. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, and I'd like to take it even further in the challenge, but go ahead. You can start there.
The core, okay, well, the very core, the very essence, which is what we're saying is the energy, which is the essential, right? Is what we are.
Well, as far as we know to date, right now, the building block for anything in our world. This is before
we are even a human structure.
Is energy.
But we are the human that is being.
Whether you're a human or a rock.
Okay.
Okay. Whether you're a human.
Okay.
Or you're a pebble of sand.
Okay. Well.
Okay. That which allows for us to be the structure, like a house. You have to put together a house with different tools. And the tools and the resources.
Sorry, I'll stop.
That are utilized in order to create any structure,
right,
including human beings, are cells
okay.
of energy, right? It's molecular, cellular form, which is energy. The smallest that we've gotten it down to, the quarks and the strings and all that other jazz. It's all...
Okay, so the energy does not know positive or negative. Energy just vibrates at different frequencies. So in general, energy is only defined when we, human beings, that's right, you and me, give it definition. Mm-hmm. Okay? So when we say bad and good, we're the ones who've given it definition. In fact, what is bad and good is an action or a feeling or a thought that is what we've given it the meaning, i.e. bad, good, negative, positive. We've given it meaning. So, on that note, we can easily take it back. We can easily change something because we've given it the meaning. We've said one thing is positive or negative. Well, we can also just turn around and change that which is the meaning that we've put into something. So that we can change. And I guess the essence of that person that we would for in this particular topic that we're talking about here is criminals.
So I'd like to bring up some examples now, if that would be okay.
Please go right ahead.
And then I'd love to hear your take on it.
Okay, then. Sounds good.
It's going to be very interesting.
Oh, are you getting excited now? Okay, all right. Well, let me all get ready.
I'm loving what you're speaking to and what you're saying. And I love that we've just now, because of how you're speaking, we're about to switch roles, which is quite fun for me.
Of course it's fun.
And so here we go. I'd like to see what you're going to say based upon the line that you are now traversing, that you're taking us on. The logic.
It just came to me, by the way, the logic.
Yes, the logic. So having said that, which, you know, again, we're now... It's kind of like a switch that was unexpected and very cool. Okay. So she
had other plans for me. Did you hear that? No, I switched it.
I did.
And you know what? I didn't even know I was doing it, and I did. Yay! Okay.
It makes for so much more excitingness.
This is great. Okay, now that I switched your plans.
Yes. So, in that you were stating a fact of matter, haha, what a pun. It's a fact of matter based on energy that creates matter.
That creates actually is energy. That's right.
Okay. That energy doesn't know the difference between that which is good or bad.
No.
It simply is vibrating at different frequencies.
Yes.
Right. And it's we humans who decide if something is good or bad.
Yes.
We attribute meaning and interpretations to things. We give things importance or lack thereof.
That's right. We do.
We decide if something is a monster or is a light of love.
That's right.
Okay.
We decide.
So then
I see
suddenly
where
they're not
you're
gonna
going
be,
with
right?
this.
So
She's
I'm
good,
just going
eh?
to pop out a few things like, oh, I don't know, Hitler or Ted Bundy
Okay.
or...
It's just throwing the bad ones at me, aren't
yeah,
you?
uh-huh.
Okay. Okay.
Or, well, we're talking about those people that many have deemed to be monsters.
I'm going to focus because
yes, I
I'm
know.
being put
I'm
on
taking
a
you
spot
for a
here.
loopy here.
Because I switched you around, so you want to take me for a loopy.
So...
Are you guys going on a loopy, or you're just like, what is going on?
Well, they also don't know what our personal perspectives and viewpoints are, so they don't know why this is so much more fun for me right now.
Well, they would if they were coming every second Wednesday here on Soul's Talking Brain show and watching us.
No, I don't know if they would know this specifically.
Maybe.
We don't say everything.
No.
That's why there's always something new to come and see.
That's right.
So, continuing along your logic, I would like you to continue in explaining, based upon that which we are discussing today, are these individuals monsters or lights of love, considering that we give them meaning. We decide what they are.
Yes.
And we're all energy.
Yes.
So speak to me then about somebody who is a Hitler or a Ted Bundy or a Saddam Hussein, for example. Along those lines that you were speaking
what
to.
I would define them?
Well, you're saying
about like those people.
You're
because
saying that
they
everything
are so,
is energy,
right? Well, we've defined them as horrible.
Well, but
we've
they're
given
just
them
energy.
Right. Okay. So. But that's the energy that we interpret as negative.
Right. So
that is a vibration. So the energy.
So then, are they negative or not?
Oh.
Are they monsters or not?
Right.
Oh, la 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 la.
Well, in our world here, being a human being, we know only a fraction of what we know, and that's a lot of the fraction that we know. So we think, right?
So we think.
So we think. So on that note,
aren't we all just like anticipating what she's going to say? I know I am.
I guess, when I'm trying to think of the nature, for example, nature is all energy. And then there's beautiful days where the water is, and the ocean is completely calm. And then there's other days where the ocean has massive tides and what do you call those? Tsunamis and tidal waves. Okay. So I guess if I were to go to nature and energy in that way, we've defined tsunamis as negative because they're destroying things, life and so on and so forth. Yeah. But it is just energy. So,
Okay, so a little
it's
background.
Difficult. If it's the.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm trying to, and you do it, and you have to think about it. I'm not going to think out loud because.
Well, that's what we're here to do. Well, no, think out loud
because I just got to sit in my mind for a minute and really. We are giving a definition. Okay,
you sit for a moment. I'm going to explain.
Maybe we're creating the energy as well.
Which energy?
Maybe we're creating an energy that we interpret as negative, and maybe we're creating energy as an essence that is we interpret as positive.
Right. It's so then Ted Bundy raping and murdering all of these women is a creation of ours, determining that it's negative as opposed to it actually being negative.
No, it's him, Ted Bundy, who created that.
But you're saying that our interpretation of it as being negative is our creation, perhaps.
We're interpreting that as negative. Right. He probably was loving it.
Okay, but we're interpreting it as negative then.
So you're saying...
No, you're saying...
No, you're saying...
No, you're saying...
Are you saying that...
You're saying it! That's why I'm making you aware of what you're saying. You're saying that we, perhaps, created that energy by our interpretation. And therefore that would state that...
We created that energy by our interpretation?
That's what you said.
So did we create negativity that just exists as negative, you're saying?
No, it's what you said. I'm.
No, but like you're saying to me, I don't know if I meant it that way.
What did you mean then?
I meant that when the energy is negative, which is what we say define it as negative.
Correct.
We create that. So it's the energy, however it vibrates from us, or there's the
Are you saying that
we're-
we created
we're-
the negative energy before the negative energy was there?
Yes,
So we created
Maybe.
Ted Bundy before Ted Bundy was there?
possibly.
So it's our fault that Ted Bundy exists?
Maybe. I don't know. What do you think? I don't know. That's a possibility. It's, I have to go along with the lines that anything is possible because in fact, like I said earlier, there's only a fraction of everything that we do know, and that's when we look at the fraction of everything that we do know is also a lot. So anything is also just possible, the same way as we here are possible, because we are. It's possible. It's possible that we have created, energy that is negative, because there is such dualistic. The world is a very dualistic theme. I don't want to say theme. It's everything is dual. There's night and day. There's man, woman. There is two of each main big thing. Big thing. If that makes any sense. It's I'm not sure. I don't know. So, but when we're saying monsters, which is
whose word is monsters, by the way?
Monsters is a lot of people's word.
Where did monsters come from for our show?
Well, when we spoke the other day, we were having a discussion about people who become who do bad things. Okay, whether it is to a lower extreme of just being moody,
Abusive,
being negative. No, on a lower level.
Okay.
On a level that somebody is just very pessimistic. Okay?
Okay.
Somebody who's just a pessimist. Somebody who's also just moody. Somebody who just likes to just not be happy. Okay? And give in to that. And then along the lines, you go all the levels of getting worse and worse and worse and worse, and all the way to the very other extreme of somebody who is a criminal and is a terrorist, is a rapist, somebody who's just beyond our imagination of horribleness. Okay? I, in my chosen words, my chosen definition, called that very extreme of the horribleness people who are monsters. Because really, a monster is a definition that we've given. It's in our dictionary. We've created the word monster because a monster was nothing positive. Right?
This is why this is so much more interesting, the way that this has worked out today, and what we are cluing you all into right now is based upon our personal perceptions on the subject matter. The manner by which we were going to be presenting our ideas for today's show was reverse. And
Okay.
as you see now, Aline
Yes.
is explaining how a monster might not be a monster.
But that is the chosen definition, yes. That is what, there is never anything that is just is, because, we've given it the meaning and that's it. That's the meaning and that's what it means, and there is no end all to change the definition of anything. Like you always say, everything in this world is malleable, right? Everything. Everything changes.
But
Everything
we are
grows,
in
everything.
constant transition, actually.
So
Energy is never, ever, ever stagnant. It's always vibrating. We
Okay.
are always changing.
So when I say that a person who is to the extreme of horribleness and does horrible things, I would call them a monster, because that is how I perceive the word monster, right? So that's my perception of the actual meaning of monster, because obviously, really, monster, I guess somebody else could think that a monster is a positive little furry creature. But a monster but it's not, right? That's what we know in our language.
Okay, but when we're speaking right now with respect to monsters, we are saying, are these people a monster or love's light? And saying that they're mutually exclusive. So in other words, if they're a monster, then they're not a being of love's light.
Right,
And so in order to call someone a monster is essentially to eradicate the fact that they actually are a being of love. Because when you say someone is a monster...
In general?
Period.
Okay.
If you call Hitler a monster...
Okay.
Do you see the angelic side of him at all?
No.
No. So that
Not at all.
Right. So then the definition of him as another human being, which is he as a reflection of we, right? He is another one of we.
Yes.
But as soon as you call him a monster, you have cut him off from being part of the species of human beings, and he is now no longer a human but a monster.
Right.
With in our definition now here of a human being, a light of love. And so if I can just take a moment quickly.
Please do.
As we are all at our quintessential core, as is everything of this universe and beyond, everything is of energy. And energy is neither good nor bad. Energy is in a state of bliss, essentially. Or what
we think is that really, we don't know. You're saying that energy, as the just very essence of energy, is just bliss? It's just in a state
of detached consciousness.
Okay.
It's or what one might call agape or unconditional love.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
It's an aware consciousness. It's not judging. It's just observing. It's going through the motions. And so when we are saying that a human being, we are saying a light of love. We are physically manifest energy or lights of radiating love or vibrating love.
Okay.
To say that one of we suddenly stops being that because they've done something horrible and they've now become a monster means that you have to have completely changed the being. They are no longer part of the whole that is, everything is part of that whole.
Okay. So, well, do you think that when somebody changes and continuously changes from good or bad, but somebody like, as obviously we're going to the extreme, somebody like Hitler, he didn't become good.
Nope.
He didn't do any good afterwards.
Well, there was good experiences that
I'm sure when he was a little boy, he was playing with his toys and he was good.
No, while he was killing tens of millions of people.
Okay.
He was in a loving relationship with his girlfriend, and he had parties with his friends.
Right, so
and he entertained little children, and he played with them, and they sat on his lap, and he bounced them up and down. Right. And he was very cordial and civil.
Right.
He just happened to massacre millions upon millions upon millions of people.
So there are definitely moments with these quote-unquote monsters that we label that have moments that are being loving.
And then the question becomes, at their quintessential core, does it change the core of whom they are, the essence of whom they are? Or do they suddenly become a monster? And I would love to get into that further right after this little break.
It's
Bye, everyone.
Whoops, Ron. It's interesting to me. I don't think I could actually finalize something and answer. I can only. I can only, because in life, as much there's theories, there's ideas, there's perceptions, there's beliefs, there's thoughts. So it's really how somebody is perceiving the situation, and I get that it's not healthy. What I get is that it's not healthy for me, and I'm sure for everybody, to think, be so ready to think so, horribly of somebody else who is doing horrible things. It's obvious that they're doing something so horrible, but to feel that there's got to be this need, because when we are saying, oh, you're a monster because you did this, that, you're feeling that. You're feeling that. That's right. You are feeling that. So I don't think it's healthy that we do that. I think that it's the best thing.
But you can't deny that the person has taken, they have participated within activities that are negative.
They are obviously not entirely 24 hours. But then again, who is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week good?
We're not
anyway?
talking about just the average individual being
Right.
good or bad. We're talking about somebody
the criminals who are already
has gone beyond.
Yeah.
So
yes, I would say that they have given into the whole choice of living a monster and being that, emanating that, and actually even when there's moments that, but this is me, but this is entirely me, and maybe some people will agree with me and maybe some people won't, but I really do think that that's it for them, like because they have gone to that extent. Will there be a chance that they might heal? Yes, there's always a chance for somebody to heal. There's always a chance for somebody, but is that, obviously it doesn't take away anything, but will that monster that we've labeled them to be change to be possibly the same way as they?
And I would state that beyond whether or not they would heal, that anything and everything that any one of us does is an act of love.
In everything, even the bad things you're saying, is an act of love.
Yes.
Wow.
Can I explain?
No, I just wanted to say wow. Please, of course, explain.
So, somebody like Hitler, for example, was acting the way he was acting out of his feeling a lack of love.
Okay.
And so he was screeching to be loved. And his feelings of not being loved caused him to go to the extent that it caused him to go to. Granted, it's a certain type of an individual with a certain type of a personality that will make the choice to go there.
The lack of love is what made them become monsters.
Every single one, in every single thing that we do, is an act of love. Whether it's an act of being loving or an act of seeking loving.
Or even an act of lack of love. So it's an act of love because there's also a lack of it.
Yes.
So everything is just basically revolved around love.
Yes.
Well, that's one way to look at it.
And
I can see what you're saying.
And so the monster is not a monster.
Right.
The monster is
crying out for love.
Albeit an extraordinarily temper tantrum child, having a major, massive temper tantrum, still, they are the light of love that is each of we. And they are a reflection of us. And I would go so far as to say that somebody like a Ted Bundy or a Hitler is, in fact, a creation of our instigation, and agree with you in the point that you had made earlier, in that it is we who has allowed for these people to be. What are they but the amplification of the energy of all of we in one human being, right? If you take 6.5 billion people and you take their little agitations
Okay.
that they've got every day,
Yes.
and you pile it all together, pile it all together, pile it all together, pile it all.
Okay.
It's going to get pretty large.
Well, it's going to get pretty. It's either going to blow up or turn into a monster.
It's going to get pretty powerful.
Yeah.
So,
mind you, sometimes it doesn't take that much for it to be so powerful. Sometimes the smallest little lack of love that a person is not getting can cause them to really accelerate in horrible things that they do. Yes, it is. It's a lack of love. All it is lack of love.
So, but what if we were born in a world where, for example, there was no violence? And so what we were showcasing to anyone who was born here was different ways of dealing with their feelings of lack of love.
Okay.
So I'm building upon the comment that you had made in the first part of the show when you had said, is it possible that we, based upon our perceptions of negativity, have made these people possible? Right? And I'm saying, imagine, if you will, that all media was positive. Imagine, if you will, I'm thinking of the song.
I just said that. I just thought of that too. Yes. Well, yes, it is. We are creating the monsters. It's
that we are born.
We didn't create
into
that
a world.
Particular one,
but we did.
But we did. Yes.
And this is my personal belief, but my personal belief is that we did. Because if a child never sees somebody hit, if the entirety of society
Yes, I'm all about that.
is showcasing that when you get feelings that are discomfort, that they are seen as being feelings of discomfort as opposed to feelings of anger and frustration and all these negative labels, terminology, and then actions and behaviors that we have taken as response or reaction, really, because when we are being in such, we are reacting, not responding.
Yes. Well, responding, you're gentler. You're reacting.
You're
reacting.
Not thinking. Yes. So these monsters, as you would label them, these beings of love's light who have lost their way, who have forgotten the fact that the love that they are so desperately seeking is within them because they have been so hurt by someone else, or potentially came as conscious energy from beforehand, having had no experiences here in the physical, but for the purpose of demonstrating this or taking it on to themselves, whatever the reasons may be. I'm getting a little esoteric here, I'm sorry. The point being that they would have to have found a different way of expressing, another outlet for this.
Another
Yes,
outlet.
Another outlet.
They have found another outlet. Sorry, go on.
For the expression of the energy vibration that they are feeling within themselves.
Right.
And so I would go so far as to say even that interpretation that we created of that which is positive or that which is negative starts with the feelings that we have ourselves and how we interpret the feelings that we have ourselves.
So basically, in my own words, all the horrible things that have happened in life as far as war, as far as criminals, people who have killed people, hurt people in whatever, every manner there is, and the horrible things as far as hate and war and people fighting in countries and so on and so forth.
Did she mention war?
Did I mention war? Is happening because we've created that. We have created that to happen. Why do I say that? Why do I say that? Because the same manner by which when you are raised as a baby, surrounded in a country or an environment or family, wherever, really, with love and affection and positivity, that child who's going to grow up, who may become a leader, may become whatever they're going to become in this world, and then they're going to have more kids if they're going to have more kids, okay, is going to pass on exactly that which was his experience or her experience in life. Okay? So,
Excuse me a moment, I'm sorry.
if we think twice about how we treat our children, and if we think twice about how we behave around children, how we are and acting and being around people in general, it has a lot to do with what's going to happen in this world.
Yes.
Okay? Okay. You're right. It is. These criminals became criminals because there was lack of love in their life. Somehow, somewhere in their childhood or past or something happened that, because there is it?
Not just lack of love in their life, but also the fact that we
or
live in a world that allows
that was horrible for them.
That allows for the expression of the discomfort feelings that we have within us to be on such a level of violence that one is taking another person's life.
Yes.
The fact that wars exist, and if you think about it, if those people whom we look to as being people whom are in positions of authority,
mm-hmm.
whom are people that are running the countries,
yes,
people whom are telling us
what to do,
what we can and cannot do,
okay.
And these people are picking up the phone and saying, let's go to war now, and going out and sending hundreds of thousands of our children
mm-hmm.
off with these big, massive guns to go and kill
but
somebody
else's children. But they do that because
children.
they're saying that they're doing it for the good, for protection.
It doesn't make a difference why they're doing it. The fact is that they're
still doing it.
Right? So the fact that somebody
Two wrongs do not make a right. Sorry.
The fact that somebody is even taking that action,
yes.
especially from that position, that role of authority, tells everybody below that this action is justified.
Yeah, it's okay. It's that.
Yes.
That's the only time it's okay to kill somebody is when you put on a specific color coding outfit. Okay.
Well, that's what you're choosing as your definition. Someone else will say, well, it's when my life is being at risk, which is why you see, for example, in the United States, everybody has a gun.
Well, right. Well, the whole thing is protecting yourself. Okay, I get that, but it's still not right.
No, I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying that it has provided for an allowance of this behavior, of this response.
Yes.
Whereas if there was no such things as war, if the heads of state and nations throughout the lands, if we have to have heads at all, but if they were to actually sit down and have the discussion that they wind up having after they've killed hundreds of thousands of people beforehand, if that was their only means of solving a situation, and that's all that any of us saw, then going to war and killing somebody over, I don't know, some grains of sand would not be in our mental makeup. Right? We wouldn't think about it.
No, we wouldn't think about it.
So somebody like a Ted Bundy might not think, well, you know, I have major anger issues with women because of my mother, and I'm going to go kill them all now.
Yeah.
He might think, well, you know, I'm not going to take them out for a nice meal.
Right. Yeah, that would have been nice. Better.
But do you see what I'm saying? So how we raise our children, as you were stating just right before, what we allow them to be exposed to has an enormous effect on the thoughts that they will attribute to their own personal feelings as they grow and go throughout their lifetimes.
That's right. That's right. Hold that thought on that one. We'll be back in a few with just these little short messages.
Yay!
We announced the birth of a conceptual country, Newtopia. Citizenship of the country can be obtained by declaration of your awareness of Newtopia. Newtopia has no land, No boundaries, no passports, only people. Utopia has no laws other than
I have a dream that one day my poor little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
A dream you dream alone is only a dream. A dream you dream together is reality. Imagine all the people living life in peace. Let's visualize and make it happen.
Imagination.tv. Check it out.
Good times. Good times. Good times.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, speaking of,
Speaking
we're
of,
actually being inspired, by the way, by Jason Mraz. That was a little ditty from one of his songs.
yes,
Why don't
Little
we
ditty.
present our good deed doer
segment.
of the day,
Yay.
which is also inspired by another one of Jason Mraz's songs.
Yes, that's right.
The title
The title.
of Good Deed Doer.
That's our segment.
And the music that you hear.
Is right.
I try to picture the man to always have an open hand, see him as a given tree, and see him as matter of fact. He's not a beast, no, not the devil either. Always a good deed doer, where it's laughter that we're making after all.
Glenn Smith! Yay!
Yeah! Everybody make waves. Everybody make waves. The waves. Not the other way. Waves. Waves.
No more.
One more.
Yay!
Yay! Glenn M. Smith. Well, Glenn Smith, he is our good deed doer of this week. Who is Glenn Smith, Ron? Why don't you introduce Glenn Smith as Dickens Reed, actually?
Well, Glenn Smith actually is the host of Practical Spirituality Radio show, and the way that we got to know Glenn was that he interviewed me on one of his shows.
Yes.
And was completely delightful. He has dedicated himself and his beingness to promoting positivity and love and light for the benefit of all of we, and he has several different means by which he does that.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is his book called The Lotus Petal, and another way is through the website sensitiveselfhelp.com. He is a spiritualist, medium, a naturalist, and a proponent of unconditional love. So Glenn Smith is a wonderful example of what it is to be the I in me that we love ourselves to be. And we are blessed to be able to showcase him today as our good deed doer. So thank you so much, Glenn, for choosing to be the magnificent you, the reflection of we that you are.
Yes. Wonderful. So check out those websites. That's also check him out on his Facebook page, which is right by me. La, 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 ding. And get all the good stuff about good people. And if you know anyone is a good deed doer, who's a being of love, who's a being that has done amazing things in life, who is, or situations or things in life in general that are positive change and positive and benefits everybody universally all over, then do get in touch with us at it's very weird to do that when you're looking at yourself in the mirror. It's beinglove@isall.com, and let us know. And of course, anything else that you'd like to get in touch with us, if there's something that you would like us to talk about, if there's other means, we do also do advertising on our show. If you would like to have sponsorship, if you would like to have hire any one of us to come for any speaking engagements, or whatever it may be that you are interested in or would like to get in touch with us for anything that we do here on Soul Stalking Brain Show, please do get in touch with us. Again, we'll show the email. It is beinglove@1
Yay!
Wonderful. Yay, that's great.
This message has been brought to you
This
by
brought to you by
Souls
Talking Brain. On our topic today, which is the criminals and are they monsters or lights of love, where we reach to in our show is that at the end of the day, it all has to do with love.
And monsters aren't really monsters.
And they're not really monsters.
They do
they
horrible things. The actions they take are monstrous.
Yes.
But I would not label them
as their entire beingness
monsters.
as that. And why? Why? Because of the different reasons why. Lack of positive experiences, lack of love can turn somebody into, and I'll say it, what we would label them as a monster. Definitely.
Lack of also positive outlets for feelings of discomfort. Because really, the energy that we feel, if you take the energy of somebody who is passionately excited about something,
yes,
it will be vibrating rather high. Mm-hmm. If you take the energy of somebody who is passionately angry about something, they'll be vibrating actually quite similarly. So both of them, if on an energetic level, to the energies that are watching, not to humans who are interpreting, would be the same. Right? In their vibration, in the waves.
So
that
you're saying an excitement or anger would be the same sort of
correct
vibration.
Correct. So the
well,
the lesson that we need to learn is how do we deal with this feeling that we're having when our energy of our makeup, of our beingness is vibrating like this. It causes us to have a feeling, right? We have
the feeling yet again is what we interpret the feeling to be.
We have thoughts and feelings that we attribute to this. So
the emotions.
Yes, thoughts and feelings, right. So if we were to teach our children, when you're feeling this, if it was something that we would call stress, for example, that this means it's a great time to go and sing, or this feeling means it's a good time to go outside and close your eyes and just stand under the sun for a few moments and breathe. Right.
It
is a different response to this feeling. Children learn how adults respond to these feelings, how they should respond.
Well, yeah.
As we do by watching that which is occurring in our cultural society.
Mind you, though, that most adults and most parents don't realize, because they were once children too, the same way as their parents and their parents and their parents were all children. So it's not intentionally. No, it's not intentionally done, and sometimes a specific reaction, even though you're being loving consciously to your children and teaching them the right things, or just to being around people in general, somebody could pick up something that you didn't necessarily catch yourself doing, which I can't handle that, right? I don't ever want to be that person that I was an example of something really the way I reacted negatively towards somebody in front of me, a child or an adult, and they took it on. Obviously, we try as much as possible.
But this is the thing, exactly where I was going
to be aware.
Is to, as the adults now who have gone through this conditioning and have been affected by our parents' unintentional or intentional actions, and are aware of things going on in our society and the fact that there's wars, so on and so forth, we are at a point in our existence here to understand that we have a choice in how we respond or react.
Yes.
And so therefore, it is for us, each of we, individually in our own lives, to do the best that we can to heal these reactions, these negative responses, these negative behaviors or actions as responses to these uncomfortable feelings that we are having, to these vibrations that are causing us to feel unbalanced. We're not advocating, although we do advocate, but we're not saying that we should all go out and do everything we can to stop the wars by physically going to a war-torn country and putting ourselves into the line of fire. We can have an effect positively on our entire world by individually in our own quiet little lives doing the best that we can do to respond from love, and more so that when you don't,
when you don't, to say that
exactly
that what you did was wrong.
Exactly,
it's very important. I just want to say hello. We've got somebody saying hello.
HGSF.
Hello back at you.
Thank you so much for joining us here today on Souls Talking Brain. We are blessed to have you. So, yes, exactly, is that we're not always going to respond lovingly because we have been conditioned.
Yes.
But to recognize when you don't and to ensure that those around you whom are being affected by that are being informed, that you are aware that you responded in a way that you would otherwise have wished you hadn't, and will do your best not to, and to commit ourselves to so doing. It makes a big impact not only on the children but everyone else around us as well, to know that you are a response-able individual whom is aware of your response-ableness, and that you are taking the initiative to make decisions that will allow for you to respond in such a manner that is of our quintessential, natural, inherent beingness, which is to be loving.
Right. Well, it's also what everybody wants. It's what everybody strives for. Everybody's...
No, not everybody. That's what we would like.
Really?
Yes, that's the message, is that everybody should be striving for it.
Wow. Well, I definitely do.
Yes.
It's, well, everybody wants to be loved. That's for sure. That you can't take away. Everybody. Every single one. Even the criminals want only to be loved. Actually, they are criminals because they didn't get the love. So, you see what happened? You see what happens? Anyway. Yes, we wanted to answer.
HGSF is asking if we're in front of a laptop, and the answer is yes.
We're just going to take another 2-second break and to promote the coming show that's coming up next week. So pay attention. We'll be right back. Radiating love, radiating love. Yes, you can't miss that show. That's, I know. I couldn't even.
Okay,
I can't even speak properly anymore.
I am most definitely.
I pulled a U. That's what she does.
Not quite. I am most definitely looking forward to joining all of you in continuing our Pondering Play next Friday on the What is the date? Actually, I'm not even sure.
I think
me
it
check,
is
let me check.
September the
September the 10th. What a
10th.
wonderful day. I am looking forward to getting together with all of you on our other show here on Being Love channel, which is Radiating Love.
Are we gonna do it on September 10th?
Yeah.
It's
I know. Before we go. That's
Yeah.
what we said. Aline and I will be attending the Harvest Festival
Yes.
here in Toronto,
Yes.
Ontario, for those who are trying to comprehend our little banter here.
Yes.
And
Well,
which begins on September 10th, and which we are most certainly looking forward to.
we are very, very much looking forward to. It's a phenomenal festival, and it is actually Harvest Festival, being that it is a celebration into starting and moving towards the fall.
Mm-hmm.
Into the
And
fall.
Harvest Moon is around this time.
Around this time.
Yes.
And it's a time.
It is the time of harvesting.
That's right.
That's right. So it is a celebration of the fruits that we have planted throughout the summer, that we are harvesting to enjoy and to share with and for the benefit of all of we. And but we will be here
Mm-hmm.
on Friday
Yes,
for Radiating Love on the 10th of September before we go,
that's right.
to join with each of you and have a wonderful show on Radiating Love. And we will obviously be letting everyone know about the show as we get closer to it. So I look forward to seeing you all then and there.
Okay, wonderful. Did we want to continue on, or did we? I don't remember if there's anything else that we wanted to bring up today for the show.
Well, was there anything else that you wanted to say
I just-
regarding monsters and
I think it is.
beings of love's light?
I think that we've covered a good portion of what we wanted to bring up and talk about, and bring mainly the whole message is that, is to always. It's the biggest message here, which is, if you look up on the page right now, which you can, by the way, join. Now they've changed. Ustream has changed things around. Instead of following, now you're joining a crowd. So if you'd like to join the crowd, which is that we are always, what we're doing here is being love. And what we are promoting and what we are always wanting to spread is being love. And that is the channel. So Being Love is ourselves, and we've got 2 shows on. And maybe we will have more. So, but that's the main thing, is to be love. And it is our choice. It is us who prevents these horrible things from happening. I do believe that. I do believe that it is us that can make a huge difference and lessen the amount of criminals that people turn up to be.
I concur. I definitely concur. And as each of we does everything that we can to be the I and me that we love ourselves to be, individually in our own small little worlds, quietly, calmly, serenely, we will emanate out a vibrating, radiating energy that will affect all, and will cause the norm to be one that is an uplifted vibration of love's harmony.
Yes.
And so on that note, we would like to thank you all for being the wonderful harmonic melody of love's light that you are, for sharing your exceptional energy with Aline and myself here on Soul's Talking Brain every second Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. And we look forward to so traveling with you again. Blessedly be to your highest happiness.
See you next time.
Soul
Ask the right questions, uncover the blinds. Souls, talking brain, enlightening minds, oh yeah, seeking out truth. Souls, talking brain, ask the right questions. So